Build or buy? That's the question on a lot of people's lips ever since I released the video on the cost estimate of building this house. A lot of people think that it's too expensive to build. Flo, why don't you just go and buy a house and rest? Or maybe some people see me talking about the frustrating, experience of working with some of my artisans. You knock down, you do this, you do that, and then some of you coming from a good place are asking, why don't you just buy? Because buying seems cheaper. In fact, someone was telling me that with 23 million that you can go and buy a big mansion. I just laughed, yeah, because that's what it looks like. Actually, I watched a video last night where a self-contained was going for 18 million. A self-contained is what we call self-contained in Nigeria is a studio flat, and it was for 18 million, and you have to pay it off in 6 months. Anyway, hello everyone, my name is Flo. Welcome back to Flo Finance, a channel where I share my experience investing in Nigeria, be it real estate. At this moment, we are mostly talking about real estate because that's the kind of video you guys want. So if you enjoyed this video, remember to click the like button so that you continue to tell me the kinds of videos you like, so that I'll continue to come on here and have a chat with you, sharing my experiences. Yeah, I have a lot of experiences in this head. So let me know by clicking the like button and commenting below to tell me the kinds of videos you want me to talk about surrounding investing in Nigeria. Let's address the elephant in the room. Why don't you just go and buy? Trust me, my people, I would love that so much. Nothing beats walking into a supermarket or walking into a fashion shop and buying the dress that you like, instead of going to the market, buy the fabric, go and find a tailor, and the tailor will make it for you, and then you go for fitting and all that and adjustments. No, just go to a fashion shop, see a gown you like, test it. If it looks good, if you like it, you're done. Yeah, it's much better. But there are lots of reasons. I remember a few of them today, right now, so I'm going to share a few of them in this video. If you feel that I missed out on some of them, please feel free to, write me paragraphs upon paragraphs below explaining, your stand on that. Yes, there are lots of reasons why you see us building rather than buying in Nigeria. Yeah, it's not by choice, really. Number one, location, location, location. I'm sure you've seen a lot of videos on this YouTube, showcasing real estate, the real estate market in Nigeria, all the beautiful houses and how much they're going for. But one thing is common with all those videos is either the buildings, is either the buildings are in Lagos or Abuja or Port Harcourt, yeah, or Enugu. Yeah, Enugu is real estate is booming as well. So yeah, it's in these few places, the major hubs of Nigeria, the major cities where the population is, where the market is, and where the demand is, of course. So this is what you see. In a lot of places, you don't even see a house to buy, not to talk of having that kind of choice. So you don't have any choice than to build it yourself. Even in the Lagos that we are talking about, most of these buildings, estates, are on the island. What if you don't want to live on the island, you want to live on the mainland? It's not easy to find a newly built house on the mainland in Lagos to buy, just like you see all those massive estates on the island where they sell houses. So it's about location. It's not everybody that wants to live in the big city. Case in point, the house we're building in the village, it must be built in our village, in our ancestral home. This is our ancestral home. It's not like we just want to build in the village for building's sake. Yeah, this is our ancestral home. We don't have a choice. We must build it there. And in the villages, there are no houses for sale. Even if you want to buy, nobody is selling. Even if you put up your house for sale, your house in the village for sale, nobody will ask you how much. In fact, they'll be looking at you suspiciously. Why is this one selling a village house? There is a big reason for that. I will talk about that later in the video. This is the number one reason why I always say that a village house is not an investment. Whenever I say it, people come for me. A village house is not an investment, at least for now. And in the next 20 years, until our villages develop to the level of big cities. It will be like that. Nobody will buy, nobody will be selling. Yeah, I'll explain later. The second reason why you see us building instead of buying houses in Nigeria is because mortgage is non-existent in Nigeria. Mark my words. Yeah, some people have told me that we have mortgage in Nigeria. No, that is not a mortgage. How can they build a house, tell you the house is 60 million, you pay 30% now and pay off the remainder in the next 6 months. If you don't pay it off in the next 6 months, you pay huge interest. The maximum duration I've seen real estate companies say that you can pay off a house is 5 years. In fact, 2 years is the most common. So tell me, is that one a mortgage? In developed countries, you put down 5% payment, 5% down payment, like 5% of the cost of the house, you pay it down, and then you pay the remainder over 25 to 40 years. So compare that to the Nigerian one that they tell you that you have to pay off in 2 years. Yeah, it's not a mortgage. It's an installmental payment on something. Where I live, you buy a TV, you can pay it off in 1 year. So how can you buy a massive house and they tell you to pay it off in 2 years? That one is installmental payment, not mortgage. So that's the thing. In developed countries, a lot of people are selling their houses. A lot of banks are ready to give you a loan to go and buy a house, and then you pay it off slowly but surely for 25 years or 40 years. Yeah, we don't have mortgage in Nigeria. That's why we have to build it ourselves. You buy a land, then you start building stage by stage at your own pace till you finish. You save up money. Maybe you save up a lump sum so that you can take it to a considerable level. Then you go and save up more money and come and keep building at your own pace. In Nigeria, I know some people that built houses under 3 months. Yeah. In 3 months, their house is ready because they have the cash down. And then I know some people that build theirs in 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. There are some people that started building their house a long time ago and it's not even complete up to now. So you can build at your own pace because you don't have any helper. You don't have any benefactor. You're building it out of pocket. All right, so that's another major reason. The third major reason is, which is actually quite important, it matters to a lot of people, is the design of the house. You know, all these mass-produced, let me put it that way, with no disrespect to anybody, yeah. All these mass-produced estate houses, they just draw one plan and roll out lots of buildings. You may like the building on the outside, but you walk into the building, it's either the rooms are too small, you don't like the bathrooms, you don't like the kitchen, you don't like this. There's always something that you don't like about the house that is very, very important to you. You may go to this one house, check it out. Oh, you love the kitchen, but you don't like the living room, or you don't like the rooms, or you don't like that they put it on several floors. There's one that we were watching the other day, the very skinny house on 3 floors, ground floor, first floor, and I'm like, who has the strength to be walking up these, like even walking up just the first floor in a detached house is tiring for me. You go upstairs and then you forgot something. Oh, you have to come downstairs and pick it. And sometimes you're downstairs and something you need is upstairs and you have to go upstairs. Ideally, I want every part of a house I'm in to be on 1 floor. So that's a bungalow. But you know, we keep building all these detached 1-story buildings. So yeah, design is a major factor for a lot of people. So they rather buy a piece of land, engage an architect, and design their own house, which includes everything they want, the way they want it. All right, so that is actually a big reason why we build in Nigeria rather than going out to buy what somebody else designed for you with no contribution whatsoever from you. The fourth one is another big one, privacy. Yeah. As always, I'll keep referring to all these, the buildings built by the real estate companies. You know, they build these massive estates. There's no privacy. Everybody lives in one compound. In fact, again, there's another one that I and my husband were watching the other day. At most, that will be the land will be 1.5 plots. And then when you drive into the land, they have 2 rows of terrace buildings on either side. So as you're driving in, there's a row of terrace houses on this side, a row of terrace houses on the other side. And when you come in, and then everybody will drive in like that. And these two houses, these two rows of terrace houses are so close to each other that, to be honest, I don't know if it's because of the way the drone filmed it, but I strongly believe that the people living opposite each other can like literally stretch out their hands and do a handshake. It's so close. Like, look, all your neighbors will be in your business. In fact, you can't even whisper in your house. People will know what you're talking. Like, I don't personally, I saw it as a face me. Like, this is a literal face me, I face you. Yeah, I wish I can put that clip here for you, but you know, I can't. But this looks like this image here, only a lot closer. If they tell you how much those buildings cost, millions, like tens of millions of naira, some of them 100 million naira, I cannot spend 100 million naira and live in that kind of place, man. I can't. I just can't. So a lot of people prefer when they drive into a compound, it's their own compound. They're not sharing it with anybody. A lot of people don't want to live in terrace houses. They don't want to live in semi-detached houses. They want to live in fully detached houses. So, and these fully detached houses are not common, say in Lagos. Like you've seen, you see it's one entrance for everybody, like all these estates. A lot of people don't want to live in that kind of place. So they want exclusive houses for themselves. So they will need to go and buy a piece of land and build it from scratch, because these are not, yeah, it's not common. So that's why people go and build it. The fifth one, custom and tradition. Yeah, this was the one I was talking about when I was talking about location. Where I come from, I am Igbo. I am an Igbo girl from Anambra State. Yeah. Where I come from, I don't know about other tribes in Nigeria. We are expected to come home to our final bus stop. Yeah, our country homes, our villages, our ancestral homes are seen as our final bus stop. No matter where you were born, yeah, you must come home. It's called home. This is the only real home. Every other place is temporary home. So whatever you build where you live in the city, where you're making your money and all that, doing business, you are expected to still come home and build your ancestral home, your final bus stop there. That's why a lot of people ask, who lives in these mansions? We don't care. In Igbo land, we don't care. At least where I come from, we don't care. We don't care if we spend just 2 weeks in a year, 2 weeks in 2 years in that house. At least we know that wherever we are, when we want to go home, there's a roof waiting for us to go into that we can call our own. So that's the custom and tradition. And like I said earlier, there are no houses, at least in my village for now. I don't know, in many years to come, after all, the Lagos that we're talking about now is someone's village. It's now fully developed, that there's a lot of buying and selling of houses going on there. So maybe by 2050, there'll be buying and selling of houses in our villages. But in the meantime, nobody buys and nobody sells. Ideally, this village house, this ancestral home, should be built on ancestral land. That's land that you inherited from your family line, like from your great, yeah. But you know, with the population growth these days, we understand that a lot of families have run out of land. A lot of families no longer have ancestral land that they can pass on to their children. So what happens is when you come of age, you go and buy land, but still in your village. You find land in your village and buy. Virgin land, never been built on before, and build them. Just let's face it, when people die, like in Igbo land, when people die, wherever people are, anywhere in the world, they would rather, a lot of people, most people, I know that some people have taken the decision to be buried where they live, but a lot of Igbos, a lot of people would still want to be taken, their remains will be taken to their ancestral home and buried there. So imagine someone, you know, a family that they have a house in the village, they've lost a family member and then they bury that person on the compound. Imagine putting that house up for sale tomorrow. Who will buy? What would they do to the remains of their loved one? Are they going to exhume it or are they going to sell it with the house? So it's unheard of that people sell their ancestral homes. So even if you want to buy, you won't find. So it's not even an option when you're building in the village. I hope you guys understand it now, because I know that some people do not understand why we cannot buy, just go and buy. There are no houses available in my village for sale. Even if somebody puts up a house for sale, nobody will buy. And then the big one, cost. Yeah. It's actually cheaper, contrary to popular belief. It's actually cheaper to build than to buy. I don't know where some people come and tell me, oh, it's cheaper to buy. It's not cheaper to buy. I was watching, like I said earlier, I was watching a video. Just last night, I and my husband were watching a video. They were selling different categories. Self-contained, which is a studio flat of just one room and kitchen and bathroom and toilet. 18 million. I think the one bedroom was going for 30 million, if I'm not wrong. And the two bedroom was going for 50 million. This is on a block of flats, not even on your own compound or something like that. So there's no way you can ever tell me that I will believe that in Nigeria that buying is cheaper than building. No, it's not. It's not cheaper. And not to talk of all the things, other things I've mentioned. I mean, if you want a house in a specific place, specific design and all that, it's going to be cheaper for you to build it, even with the land added. Come to think of it, all these real estate companies, they build the house to make money. So how do you think it will be cheaper to buy than to build? No. It's not possible. I know that real estate companies, because they buy things in bulk, they probably get it from the source. They don't go to the markets to buy. They go straight to the factory, to the manufacturers or the importers to buy these things, or they even import some of them themselves, the ones that need to be imported. So I understand that, but at the end of the day, they are making money. They're in the business to make money. So you cannot tell me that building is more expensive than buying. It's not possible. It's impossible. There's no way. There's no way. So with these few points of mine, I hope that I have explained to you why it is more common. Let me put it that way. Right now, it's more common. I mean, 95 or even 98% of houses you see in Nigeria are built by the owners from scratch. Yeah, they're not bought. Yeah, the buying is going on only in the major cities. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button and yeah, comment below to add to what I said. If there's any other thing that I didn't mention, I mentioned 6 points, but I'm pretty sure that there are other reasons why people would rather build their own houses than go to the housing supermarket and buy one. Bye bye.